And I'm delighted that we have so many people that have come today. I want to say happy Valentine's Day to all of my dear friends and neighbors today. Let me just pull this up. One quick second here. And well, I want to start by saying a few things. Okay, first, give me one second. Trying to pull up my Zoom screen. Just give me 1 second. All right, now I can see you all again. So I want to just say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And I'm really happy to see you all in red, or a lot of you. You all look stunning. Red, as you know, is my favorite color. It's the color of love, courage, bravery, and passion. And on this day of love, let us all come together for our community. And as we fight the COVID-19 pandemic, we have all seen how love can see us through times of difficulty and trouble. And so I'd like to share with you on this Valentine's Day, first excerpts of one of my favorite poems. And this is actually Shakespeare Sonnet 29. And it's about how love sees us through times of trouble and difficulty, even when everything is crashing down around us and in our lives, as it has in many times this year. I'm going to read a few excerpts from that favorite poem of mine. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and I look upon myself and I curse my fate. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. This is also how I feel about public service to the people of our district and to South Queens and to New York State. I wouldn't even want to be a king because my love for the community is so much. And the battles in Albany and in our politics feel easy for me because I'm sustained by my love for our community. And in fact, last Valentine's Day, I was meeting everybody one by one, knocking on voters' doors. And so many of the houses in South Queens are always decorated. And that's one of the things I love the most about our district, is how we really feel that Valentine's Day spirit, decking out the houses. And I met so many of my now constituents and heard their stories. I heard from single mothers trying to get by, parents who had lost their children to drug addiction, young people striving in this world with big dreams and hoping to make it. And just last month, I met people that had lost their homes in a fire. And even when they had lost everything, they still had the energy to be kind and giving to others. So it is that love of you and community and all of those memories and stories that sustain me. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your support and for electing me by such a large margin. I am humbled and honored, and it is a privilege and honor to serve. So it has been my first 5 weeks in office now, 5 weeks. And I want you to all know that my office is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, even during the pandemic. And we also have expanded to weekend hours to be fully accessible. So we are also open 11 to 2 on Saturdays or by appointment. And as you know, I've painted my office red, which should come as no surprise. And my office is going to be a testing site for COVID Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week. And we're going to be doing a food giveaway this Thursday, along with my dear friend Joe Corona, who's here today as well. So the food distribution will be right outside of the office. Since last year, we have been assisting the district in 5 languages to help with food insecurity, getting food to people, getting doctors on the phone to people in 5 languages: Bengali, Punjabi, Hindi, Albanian, Spanish. This is, in fact, an incredibly diverse district, as we know, one of the most diverse districts in the state. And in this diverse district, we are all, in fact, at one point, we all have been strangers and outcasts, all of our families when they first came here to South Queens. And it reminds me of one of my favorite speeches by a senator that I think some of you will remember, US Senator Robert F. Kennedy, a great New York State senator, who said once, actually in the winter of 1967, all of us, from the wealthiest to the young children that I have seen in this country, in this year, bloated by starvation, we all share one precious possession, and that is the name American. But in part, to be an American means to have been an outcast and a stranger, to have come to the exile's country, and to know that he who denies the outcast and the stranger still amongst us, he also denies America. And on this Valentine's Day, it's a time for poetry and words we love. So I'm reminded of some of my favorite bits of poetry, and I'm so happy to share it with you. But I also want to tell you about some of my work in Albany these past 5 weeks. And as you all know, the top priority of my office has been, in fact, ending this pandemic. My first piece of legislation, I'm so happy to have authored my first piece of legislation. And it is called the COVID-19 Early Intervention Act. And what it does is it makes a certain drug available. When President Trump got COVID, he immediately got the antibody cocktail. This antibody cocktail is called the monoclonal antibody cocktail treatment. And if you get it within 7 days of first showing signs of COVID, your chances of death or complications are reduced by 70%. But this treatment, although life-saving, has remained largely unused. The federal government has sent it to hospitals all across the country, but hospitals have used only 20% of it. So my legislation aims to make this treatment available to high-risk individuals. And I believe that it can save many lives before we see the end of this pandemic. And I'm proud to report that my bill already has amassed 17 co-sponsors. And I'm very hopeful for its passage and that it will ultimately be signed into law. Additionally, I have co-sponsored and spoken on the assembly floor for several bills to make it easier for people to receive their COVID vaccinations. So one of these bills allows you 4 hours of paid time off from your job to get each shot of the vaccine. And I co-sponsored it and it passed by a large margin. So I'm hopeful that that will soon become law, as well as certain bills to make life easier for small businesses at this time. As we all know, small businesses that we love, such as Avenue Diner, shut down. Other businesses that we love are struggling right now to stay afloat. So one thing that we have done, that I have sponsored, that's made it through, is a bill that will create an eviction moratorium and a foreclosure moratorium for all small businesses through May 1st of this year, as well as a bill to help with unemployment insurance ratings, because small businesses have been suffering due to bad unemployment insurance ratings because they've had to lay off so many people. So this aims to lift the regulatory burden on the small businesses and to make life easier for them. Also, I'm trying to make life easier for those who are unemployed right now. Right now, a lot of us don't want to take on other jobs because you will lose your unemployment insurance or at least suffer a penalty in unemployment. But the legislation that I have sponsored will make sure that you're not penalized in your unemployment insurance if you take on part-time employment. So you can take on part-time employment without suffering in your unemployment insurance. So this is all to say that in Albany, I've been doing my best to make sure that we can arise from the devastation of the pandemic and everything that it's wrought on us economically and health-wise. Finally, before I get to you and to introducing some of my amazing staff, I'd like to talk about what our top priority is for the next 5 months. And that is simply to vaccinate all of South Queens. We have been one of the districts that has had the highest rates of coronavirus. Richmond Hill and Ozone Park especially have suffered from the highest positivity rates. But we are going to be number one in vaccination. Our goal is to be the number one district in getting everyone vaccinated. So how are we going to do that? That is the question. And that is what our office is working on right now tirelessly. We have had people calling our office continually. Some people are 80 years old and they are asking how to make an appointment. They don't have a computer. And the logistics are very challenging. So we are trying to make it easier for everyone to receive the vaccination they need. Right now, we have created a volunteer vaccination corps for South Queens, and we need your help. There's a lot of community leaders on this call today that have enormous followings and enormous ability. And we would like to work with you hand in hand so we can guide our neighbors through the very tricky process of getting a vaccination. There's a few details that I'd like to highlight about vaccination. First of all, I'd like to share the numbers of the city and state where you can make an appointment. These are very important numbers. And Viola, my chief of staff, will put them in the chat box. First of all, the New York City number to make an appointment, 877-VAX-4NYC. And then there's the state number. The state number for vaccination, which is, 1833 NYS 4VAX. That's the state number. And a lot of our constituents have had good luck by calling these numbers repeatedly and eventually are able to get through and make an appointment. We were one of the first teams to visit the new vaccination site in Queens, the first one, which is at the Aqueduct Racetrack in Ozone Park. It's a beautiful site. We have been through it. It's very friendly and good feeling. The military is there, making sure that it's smooth and that everyone is able to get a vaccination in an orderly and effective manner. So it is a very impressive site. And I'm proud to say that new doses of vaccine came in for this site recently. So this is really going to help us all. Finally, we have some more good news, which is that as of tomorrow, more people will be able to receive vaccinations because the eligibility has been expanded. And those are people with high risk conditions. So February 15th, tomorrow, is when people over age 16 with underlying conditions can also receive vaccinations, but the sign up starts today. So underlying conditions are people who have cancer, chronic kidney disease, type 1 or type 2 diabetes. That's very important for our district where that condition is prominent. Severe obesity, pregnancy, sickle cell disease, neurological conditions, including but not limited to Alzheimer's disease or dementia, and heart conditions. All of the people in these groups are now eligible to receive vaccinations. And also, it's important to note the federal pharmacy program of President Biden. This is the new program that's made vaccine doses widely available at pharmacies, but only for people over the age of 65. So if you're over the age of 65, I encourage you to check out your pharmacies. You can go to the Walgreens website and make an appointment. That site is very accessible. You create a Walgreens account, and then you're able to book at any number of Walgreens locations in the city. Also do the same thing with Rite Aid, okay, if you're 65 or over. So this is the top priority of our office. It is simply getting everybody vaccinated. And all of our effort is going to go into that. And we need all hands on deck. So anybody who can help us in this, please get in touch with our office, and we will work together for love of our community to make sure that we are fully vaccinated and that it's done soon. So thank you all so much for your time. We have a number of special guests that have joined our call that I'm getting updates about. I'm very eager to get to them. So I would like to skip first to Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough President, the future mayor of our city, an incredible friend who has been to South Queens many times, helping our community. He is the greatest hustler I have ever seen. And I'm so optimistic for all the things that he can do for our city. Eric Adams, if you are here, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. And you outdo us all when it comes down to working hard and representing your community. And every time I stand side by side with you on these important issues, I know that your residents made an amazing and important choice by electing you. I'm so excited about your leadership, and as you continue to extend in the city. This is such an important issue. And I remember you bringing it to my attention, how the numbers were extremely high in your area, yet the number of vaccinations were not meeting the challenge, and how you have been raising your voice about this important issue. And so on this Valentine's Day, we say that our loves means we must give the right resources to those who are impacted by COVID-19. And I join you and stand side by side with you as saying, we love each other, we love your district, we love your constituents, and let's show that love by making sure vaccinations are appropriately distributed in those communities where the numbers are high. It's clear that they're high in your community. And so I'm here with you. We will fight together. And so again, thank you so much for allowing me to come on. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Good luck in your future. And side by side, we're going to fight this COVID virus and make sure the resources are on the ground where they're needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Borough President, for your leadership and your partnership. We are truly grateful for everything that you're doing for our community. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We are also joined by my colleague in the neighboring district, Assemblyman David Wepburn. How incredible that we have so many special guests. Assemblyman David Wepburn is no stranger to us. He's been a fighter for Queens for many, many years. And it's really nice to be sharing a district border with him because it means that we can partner in so many ways to uplift our communities. He is a very, very good person, a good man, and he is always everywhere. And I'm so optimistic for his future in our city. Assemblyman David Weprin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Assembly Member Jenifer Rajkumar. It's been a great partnership. Even before Jenifer took office, we've been working side by side with COVID relief efforts throughout the district and Southeast Queens in general. We've become not only partners but good friends during this fight. And I was so proud to be one of the first co-prime sponsors of that landmark legislation that Jenifer mentioned at the outset, with that life-saving antibody treatment that is not being distributed, is not being offered, even though hospitals have access to it. And I'm going to be fighting along with Jenifer to make sure that as many people with high-risk conditions who get COVID certainly have access to that. And I too have been fighting to get vaccinations all over. One of the first sites, and I was pushing for a site, was at Hillcrest High School, but that's not enough. I was at the opening day when Mayor de Blasio came, and our borough president, Donovan Richards, was there, along with myself. And we've been fighting for more vaccination sites. Really, this should be a major effort. And I think it's finally getting the attention of the federal government under President Biden and the Biden administration. We're certainly making it a major priority, but we really, all politics is local, as Tip O'Neill once said. And, it's important to Jenifer and myself that we really get to the South Asian population, the population in Queens that has, high risk and have shown to be one of the highest positivity rates for COVID-19 in the entire city. And that's something we've been combating. We've gone to many events together, along with giving out masks, giving out hand sanitizers, making people aware of social distancing, of wearing masks, and it really does make a difference. I'm happy to say the numbers are coming down, but not enough. And we really have to make sure that everybody gets vaccinated that's eligible, and hopefully soon everybody will be eligible. So again, Jenifer really hit the ground running in Albany. She had experience working for the governor and on so many issues that I worked with her on language access, particularly in the South Asian community, because as you know, I have one of the largest South Asian districts and diverse districts throughout the entire city. And Jenifer and I work very closely on so many of those issues. And it's really been great to have Jenifer in the assembly. And she not only talks out on the floor of the assembly, but also in our Democratic conference, where so many of our major decisions are made without the public really knowing about it. But it's really, Jenifer has been a loud voice in the Democratic conference. And I know Speaker Hasty has relied on her opinion on so many different issues. But just on a personal note, I really want to thank Jenifer for her friendship. She's really become a good friend, and we've worked together on so many issues. And I think we're going to be working very soon on citywide issues, really to help immigrant communities, to help the South Asian community, but really to help all of New York City. So thank you, Jenifer, for having this town hall meeting. Thank you for your friendship and cooperation and working on so many different issues. And I look forward to continue to work with you for the benefit of our districts, Queens County, and the entire city of New York. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assembly Weprin, for your incredibly kind words and for your leadership in Queens. And good luck on your citywide campaign. We're rooting for you. You'll be a great leader for our city.
And happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I'm wearing red. I don't have that much red, Jenifer, but for you, I wore red.
I know. I've never seen that before. Thank you so much. That's impressive. You went out of your way. So we really have such incredible special guests today. I'm truly overwhelmed at this outpouring of love. We have here with us our Deputy Borough President, Rhonda Binda. How incredible that Rhonda Binda has been elevated to this role. There's no one more deserving than her to be our Deputy Borough President of Queens. And I actually am proud to say I know Rhonda before everybody did here. I know her way back, and she was always a star from day one. So Rhonda, are you here? The floor is yours. Is Rhonda still here? Oh, I see her. I see Rhonda, but I cannot hear Rhonda. Okay, I think.
Yeah, she can go ahead and unmute herself whenever.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon and happy Lunar New Year. Happy Valentine's Day. Jenifer, you look beautiful in red as always, and so does everybody on the screen. And I want to just thank you for your partnership and your sisterhood, Jenifer. I think it's incredible that I'm having the opportunity to also serve the borough the same time that you're starting to serve the state. And the partnership between the city, the state, and even seeing that we've been getting national attention for the work that we're doing from the Washington Post this past week and the New York Times the week before about the work that we're doing, particularly in your district where the COVID numbers have unfortunately been highest, and that we're able to now bring in attention to bring the resources here. Finally, you know, it's been a year into the pandemic, but I think that because of the leadership and the partnership you're seeing between the borough president, Donovan Richards, people like David Weprin, who I was with at that first opening of the Hillcrest site, and with the lieutenant governor at Aqueduct, with the borough president, I just want you to know that we are fighting so hard and dedicated to bringing the resources that we deserve and that we need into the district. And so I know that it's been a really tough year for so many of us. There's been loss of friendships, of family, of jobs, but we're here working very hard, not just on the health side, but on the economic development side. And I have and support your small businesses, support the work that Jenifer is doing at the state level to be able to help with the rent moratorium, call your representatives. And I know we're going to see so much more from Jenifer and from a lot of the leaders that are joining today, working in partnership. And it has been unprecedented that what I've seen in Queens prior to the past few months. And so I think we're at a turning point, and I want you to know if we could ever be a resource at Borough Hall, please reach out to info@queensbp.org. Many of you know how to reach me directly. Of course, you can always do that. And we're here. We want to be able to be there for families if they have issues with getting their energy on at their homes, if they have issues with food, if they have issues with PPE. The borough president's office is here to be able to help fill those gaps. And so thanks again and congratulations. For few weeks for you, Jenifer. I hope that we can plan your inaugural once things open up again. I really want to celebrate you as the first South Asian leader in New York City, in New York State, to be elected. I'm so proud of you. And we're here in partnership to do whatever we can for the district. And one more thing, I'm sorry, the holiday about preachers' kids. So, you know, when asked what is the most important commandment, Jesus, he always points to loving God and loving my neighbor as the most important of all virtues. And so I hope you all remember to continue. I've seen so much compassion and empathy. The one thing that's come out of, I would say the good thing that's come out of the pandemic has been, I just think we have all, and I just want to wish everyone a lovely holiday, a happy President's Day tomorrow, and thanks.
Thank you so much to our Deputy Borough President Binda, and please thank the Borough President Donovan Richards for all of his incredible work. Happy Valentine's Day to both of you. I really want to also introduce you to some very important people today, my staff. So I'm really so lucky to have incredible people working with me because our district deserves nothing less than the best. And so I'd like to introduce you all to my chief of staff, who's here today, Viola. And I'd like Viola to introduce herself and say a few words.
Hi, everyone. I'm Viola. I'm the Chief of Staff for Assemblywoman Rajkumar, and I'm extremely happy to be here on Valentine's Day with everyone. I have to say that this district, and we all love to celebrate Valentine's Day especially. And last year when the Assemblywoman and I were knocking on doors and meeting all the neighbors, we loved seeing all the decorations, the red hearts and flowers. It definitely made the cold nights feel a bit warmer. I also want to say hello and to our friend Julio Batista. Especialmente quiere tomarme un momento y agradecerte por haber acompañado hoy. También nuestro amigo Carlos Plaza. During these very difficult times, everyone in our community is struggling to beat COVID. I come to remember one of my favorite poems by one of my favorite authors, Emily Dickinson, and I would love to share that with everyone. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that peaches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale it's heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it all in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity I asked a crumb of me. Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the poem. Emily Dickinson is one of my favorite authors. So thank you so much for being here, everyone.
Thank you so much, Viola. That's amazing. So we are a poetry-loving staff on this Valentine's Day. Viola speaks such incredible Spanish as well. But really, our whole team I'm just so honored to work with such an incredible and bright team. We have here, Greg Slade is here. Wave to everyone, Greg. Greg is our legislative director. So he's really a big part of making sure that we pass and introduce the best legislation. Elliot Heisler is here.
Hi, everyone.
And Elliot doesn't like me to brag, but Elliot, lifelong South Queens resident, born and raised, and then he went all around to get the best education. I know he doesn't like me to say it, but Harvard law educated, and now he's come back to help our community. So thank you to him as well. Rose Kaur is here as well, our director of community affairs. But Rose is enormously popular, so I think you all know Rose already. How lucky we are to have her on the team as well. And we have Jacob Gross here as well, who does a lot of our policy work and is the director of communications. So we're so thankful to him. What a great team, and we're here to serve. Only the best for South Queens. I would like to just thank so many people. We have so many incredible community leaders here, and I'm blown away. We also have a singer who sings incredible Spanish and English classics. But I just have to say thank you to Simco Weissman, who's here, the president of the 102 Community Council. You can wave. So we all know Simco, but
hello.
Yeah. So Linda Fogel, my great friend, a friend to all of us, is here. Linda wears many hats, so it's hard to list all of them, but community board, government, this is Woodhaven. We have my friend, Mr. Bachu is here. Thank you for coming, Mr. Bachu. Stephen Forte, Woodhaven Residents Block Association, as well as many other denominations. I see Brenda has come. Brenda Horton of our Parents Association, who does incredible work. Saleh Ahmed, a leader for small businesses, a leader in healthcare, and of course, in the Bengali community. Principal Adrian Ubertini, thank you so much for your dedication to the youth in our district. Actually, Principal Ubertini was part of our helping our event yesterday to give free laptops to children in Richmond Hill. And the joy on their faces is unforgettable. Thank you, Principal Ubertini. Joe Corona, my incredibly dear friend, leader of the Ozone Park Civic Association, Our Neighbors Civic Association. We have done many food drives together to relieve hunger, and we're going to be doing so much more together. Thank you to the 102, 102nd Precinct, which always represents and has sent the Captain Diakonikalis today. Thanks so much for everything that you do. There's been a spike in crime in our district, and I'm looking forward to working with you very closely to make sure that we are safe. Kenichi Wilson, Kenny Wilson, CB9 chair, who is literally everywhere. I don't know how you do it, Kenny, but I really thank you for always being there and being such a good friend and helping everyone who needs it. And Julio Batista's here, our good friend, who has been helping all the neighbors and has been uplifting our large Latino population. And I truly thank him for that because the community has been underrepresented. And Julio and I are working to change that. Mr. Lama from Ridgewood, who is a leader in the Nepali community. You can wave so everyone knows who you are, Mr. Lama, but he has been such a help, and he's really just always there for everyone. He helped the Richmond Hill fire victims and organizes the community in Ridgewood as well. Sohail Rana, thank you for coming, Sohail. Sohail has been helpful really in everything. I'm helping the drivers all over the state organize and helps anyone who's in need. Also, he's a government leader. I'd also like to thank, Michael Bilski's here from Glendale. And he has, as we all know, driven these amazing cars throughout the district. On Christmas, he dressed up as Santa Claus and drove a car that was decorated. And it brought joy to so many people at such a difficult time. So, Mike, thank you so much. And I'll never forget when we drove on Halloween through the district. That was one of the highlights of my year, quite frankly. So thank you. And Maribel Perez McDaniel, my good friend from the Community Education Council, CEC, but also she's a leader on educational issues in South Queens. So we're all going to be working with her closely to help our children. Ashok Ramsaran is just a South Queens leader who many of us know. Ashok and I are in touch regularly about issues affecting Richmond Hill and Ozone Park. Thank you, Ashok. Happy Valentine's Day. Juhaid Chowdhury has just joined us. My great friend has been organizing the Bengali community all around this city in a really extraordinary manner. Nahan Parikh has showed up. Nyan is also an incredible South Asian leader, a business leader, really helps the community in too many ways to note. He has also been setting up testing and vaccination sites all around our city. Thank you, Nyan. I think Shyam Karki is here from the leader in the Nepalese community. Thank you, Shivinder Sofat. Shivinder, thank you for everything you do for our small businesses and for the South Asian community. Vishnu Mahadeo, who has been a leader in Richmond Hill for many years. Dilip Chauhan. So just thank you all so much for coming. And Luis Lucas. Luis is here from Woodhaven. And we're working very hard on Dominican American issues and really uplifting the small businesses here in Woodhaven, which need a lot of help right now. And Xiao Min from Ridgewood. Everyone has to know Xiao Min as well, who's been doing extraordinary organizing of work in Ridgewood and for the Chinese community. So I hope that this coming together of people, we all get to know each other and collaborate to vaccinate our community. So thank you all so much. At this time, I think we could use a little music. Cesar, are you around? Let's unmute Cesar so we can hear some music.
Hola, hola con todos, muy buenas tardes. Vamos a dedicar unas canciones por San Valentín, profesando pues mucha salud, amor para todos ustedes. This song is